Hello, everybody. Hello. Welcome to my office, my slice of real life here in the V2 world. I am librarian VTuber Star Tato, aka Star, real life working librarian, and a family man, the daughter and 3 cats. And when everyone settled down for the night, I get to play some games. So that's what we're gonna do. That is indeed what we're going to do tonight. But it is Friday, it is the weekend starting for everyone, so how is everyone doing on this fine Friday? It was a super nice day today. We've had a few here and there, but today, yeah, it was really nice. Sunny in the 80s, really nice. Not that I was outside a lot, but it's actually for a lot of the day more in the mid 70s, so I had some of the windows open, getting some nice new fresh air into the house. It was nice to get a little bit of that and feel that. I mean, I was outside a little bit. I had to do a couple of quick chores and stuff outside, but you know, it's nice when it's nice. And then I had the window because I cleaned the shower, and so I left the window open in the bathroom in order to kind of air it out. So yeah, it was a great day for all of that. So I was very happy about that. Then I had an initial interview for a job today. I think that went pretty well. Always look back and be like, kind of wish I had said something a little bit different here or there. Maybe I should talk more about something I did here, but I think hoping I did enough. They gave me the questions like 15 minutes beforehand, so I was not a lot of time to prepare any kind of answers or anything for it. So, you know, I don't think it went too bad considering that. I was able to think of a few things, so always nerve-wracking, I guess is the way to put it. always. But I'm hoping it's something that is, you know, going to pay off. This would be a good one. Job's interesting. The place is close to family, so it'd be a place that we would really think that we would go. You know, we would be happy to be near, at least to my family, although I think we'd be a little bit further from the wife's family. But I mean, good. I mean, can't complain about that. It's not like the number one choice or anything, but it is a good opportunity, I think. So we shall see. We'll see how it goes. But I should probably find out in a couple weeks whether they'll call me in for a second, and then I would travel. So we'll see. In the meantime, still gotta keep pumping out resumes and cover letters and find other opportunities as much as possible. You can't put all your eggs into one basket, especially right now, and especially in my area where there's not a lot out there. Competition's got to be pretty tough in pretty much anything, so trying to find something is, especially in a place that we'd be willing to move to, is very difficult. So I mean, still got a bunch of stuff out, but there's always new stuff and new places, and we'll see how things go, because there is definitely, at least there's definitely stuff out there. That's the good thing, where we definitely have stuff to look at. So I was worried when I started, especially at the beginning of the year when things really started to take a turn, that there would not be that much out there. But yeah, it seems that there is definitely some jobs out there for me. There are, if we were willing to cast the net wider in terms of places that we'd be willing to go to in the US, that would open up even more. But there are definitely places we don't want to go to right now. So that kind of leaves that out. Of course, it's not like I'm finding anything internationally that would be interesting, and how difficult it would probably be to do. I can't have any kind of hope unless I get headhunted, which I don't think is going to happen. But I mean, I guess there's still some kind of remote possibility in that. But right now, not much. So we're keeping a close look at lists and everything to see if there is anything. And even locally or nearby, remote, you know, those kind of things would be really good too. Not having to move would definitely be a huge plus if we can manage it, but not very hopeful on that. But you know, finding something in one of the places that we have family in is definitely like the next best option, I think. And so yeah, that's what we're looking at right now. That is what we're looking at right now. Buddy was here, left some beer, so I'm trying one today from this small brewery in North Dakota, looks like, called Drecker. This is a Bloody Brains, a double fruit smoothie sour. It is very fruity, but it's not bad at all. I'm actually kind of digging it. That was one of the things that I was very surprised to find that I liked. I would never have guessed that I would have liked sour beers, but I like sour beers. Sour beers are some of my favorites, I think. What you would think would not be something, especially if you knew me and knew I was not much of a fruit person. I mean, there are fruits that I like, but never been someone into like fruits and fruit flavors and stuff like that. But yeah, sour beers seems to hit it for me. This one is very fruity though. It's good though. I'm enjoying it. So I'm gonna be drinking it throughout the stream today. But let's see here. We are back into Honkai Star Rail here. We're deep into the Trailblaze mission here with following Anaxa. He is meeting with the opposition to Aglaya and the Flame Chase journey. We see the person we're meeting here is Elder Kindness, who leads this organization. I forget what they're called, but that is who we're gonna go meet as Anaxa. You can see it in the top left there. That's actually whose POV we're in. So he seems to have some kind of plan and is not like straight betraying everything. So I'm kind of curious to see how this is gonna go. Even the Aeon Xerxes, who has been following, is curious as to what's going to happen.
Welcome to the Demigod Council, esteemed guests.
Demigod Council, okay. You got anything more to say, Legus? No. This is a new race, I guess, that we're coming across here for the first time, which is interesting.
Lord Anaxagoras, oh, I've heard so much about you. Head of the Nusphorists of the Grove of Epiphany, notorious blasphemer, a Chrysos heir who bears Circe's core flame, a survivor of the Grove calamity. Did I miss anything? Well, if so, please be so kind as to enlighten me.
Since Lady Kindness is already well acquainted with me, I won't waste any effort introducing myself again. But then again, perhaps the customs are different here. Back in my hometown, there is a form of etiquette known as honoring guests. The host will welcome their guest with warm hospitality by treating them to fine wine and a cozy bed.
And we must not forget that Anaxa is, of course, a grating personality. It's very difficult for anyone to like this guy. So this ought to be interesting, because Elder Kindness is not exactly likable either.
And yet, ever since I arrived, I have not been welcomed with warm courtesy or ceremonial gifts. Instead, I am met with intense scrutiny. Even more absurd, the host has sharpened their blade and instructed their servants to lie in wait in the shadows. Perhaps you intend to cut open my heart, retrieve the core flame, and then hold a grand feast for all of the guests.
Everyone, stand down.
Thank you for understanding. I am but a feeble scholar who is not used to the stench of avarice and blood.
No need to be humble, my lord. From my perspective, your courage and gumption are worthy of the reputation of the Seven Sages. Your bravery is more than adequate to accomplish our perilous endeavor.
For those who play Genshin, Anaxa is very much reminiscent of, oh my god, I just blanked on his name, my head into my head. Aetham, not his full name, is it? Damn it. The scholar guy from the university there in Sumeru, I guess. Shit, what's his name? Oh, Hatham. That's his name. Yeah, very much the same kind of person. Grading personality, the intellect, planner, schemer. You never know what they're thinking. Probably more warm-hearted than you would guess in the end. But yeah, the initial first impressions, of course, are always very bad.
So, you wish to start a war?
Well, since the Chrysos heirs are calling for war, we will respond in kind. Conflict is inevitable. Since Aglaya endeavors to suppress the virtuous commoners with blood of gold, we will not hesitate to display the rights and mettle the citizens of Akama are so entitled to. As to your question of whether peace is still a viable option, well, to that I can only say this. Everything hinges on the next citizens' assembly and whether they have a sudden epiphany amid the clamor of the masses. And since you, as a Chrysos heir, accepted our invitation, you have indeed given us a glimmer of hope.
What brazen arrogance. What you're saying right now is worlds apart from what you were saying before you retired your cleaners.
I don't deny it. After all, they're responsible for cleaning up any threats, and just a moment ago, you were on the side of the Chrysos heirs. But now that you're an ally of ours, we can continue talking somewhere else. As you know, these walls have ears. I was fortunate enough to have the opportunity to discuss a treatise about the Venerationists with your teacher, Empedocles. Yet, it seems you subscribe to the Nusporists instead, Lord Anaxa. I've heard that this school of thought is one with many detractors.
It's normal for ideas to have supporters and dissenters, just like how there are two types of people in this world: geniuses and dimwits.
Damn. Okay, I want to make sure we got through the conversation. We're getting very close to this. I'm guessing it's going to get us into a cutscene any second. Yep.
Welcome back to the hub of the Demigod Council, Lord Anaxagoras. Surely you remember that countless eloquent orators have stood in this spot before and emerged victorious by stoking public sentiment with their words. And yet there have also been innumerable blasphemous philosophers who set themselves up for failure because they refused to defend their actions.
Sounds like a threat.
This tiny stage is the most profound embodiment of Akama in centuries. In 15 days, this site shall also become the most important, as well as the final turning point in Akama's history. May the both of us carry out our duties with honor and lead the masses back toward the Erechrysia, A golden age with no death, strife, or trickery.
Interesting. That seems like a huge kind of stretch. No death, strife, or trickery. That seems like a very much pipe dream. Or if there are humans, there would definitely be death, and most definitely be strife. And trickeries, of course, always goes hand in hand with both of those.
Oh my, 15 days and nights. That aligns perfectly with the date of your demise. Could such a coincidence truly exist?
Using death to prove myself fits my intentions perfectly.
What strong conviction you have. As expected of the hero who dared to stand up to the Gold Weaver.
As expected, she misunderstands you.
That's enough, Lady Kindness. Dispense with the niceties. I only accepted your invitation so that I can serve the commoners alongside the members of the Council of Elders. Don't test my patience with such superfluous formalities.
Well, you say that now, but surely you also require my aid as well, so that you can stay alive even when being pursued by the Golden Thread?
You worry too much. She won't show her hand too freely, as she still needs to garner support from the masses at the Citizens' Assembly.
Even someone like me can tell that only a sliver of her humanity remains. Surely you're not asserting that she will definitely act in a rational manner.
As you're no doubt aware, Aglaya covets the core flame that I possess, which makes it the bargaining chip that allows me and the rest of you to negotiate with her. However, in return, I'll need the Council of Elders to support me as much as possible. Naturally, this includes the guards as well.
Making demands. He really feels like he's in a position of strength here.
You're well aware how valuable Cersei's core flame will be in the era Chrysia that you are desperately pursuing. Talk is cheap, so you'd better act prudently as well.
I understand. After all, this battle of wits is just a means for each party to acquire what they need. As long as your request is reasonable, the Council of Elders never shortchanges its allies. Since we're both intent on mutual cooperation, let's not mince words and just speak plainly to each other. Let us decide how much we can secure for ourselves and how much we're willing to sacrifice, like true philosophers, with our words and wisdom.
Let's begin then. Sounds like a plan. We're ripe and willing to go here. Still very early in the day, in the night. We definitely got time.
Continuing from the earlier topic, let us discuss our common enemy, Aglaya. She is the second most experienced Chrysos heir across the whole of Akama, who has gradually lost her humanity to the ravages of time and the ablation of the core flame. A formidable opponent indeed. Admittedly, there is ample reason for her to take your life. Yet your previous reasoning is quite sound. As a seasoned political animal, it's unclear whether she will actually cross that irreversible boundary. Moreover, she still needs you alive so that the Titan's trial can be completed.
All relevant and correct so far.
Is there anyone present who can swear by the sacred vow of Kefali and guarantee that you weren't in league with that woman before coming here? Are you just trying to pull the wool over our eyes and aid her in her savagery?
He's by himself. How? What? Why are you asking him this? Unless like you're talking about one of the followers or something, because that or the watchers that have been watching him. Because I don't get that at all. She just needs vassals who will do her bidding without question.
If Aglaya required a suitably intelligent Chrysos heir, then I'm the best fit for her needs. However, it's quite evident that she has no need for a Chrysos heir who could break free of her control at any time.
And that's an interesting thing to say, considering that Mighty has done pretty much exactly that, and just kind of left and is doing his own thing, which is interesting.
Since I believe in neither Titans nor the prophecy, there's no way that I would willingly walk on the path that she extols. Given how rigorously she enforces her principles, how would she ever accept a heretic such as me?
And of course, the irony of him saying he does not believe in the Titans when he has the core flame of one and one following him around right now.
I understand what you mean. At the very least, the both of us agree that this tyrant who wallows in extravagance and greed is the greatest threat to achieving peace in Akama. The Council of Elders is willing to defend your right to live, just as we defend every oppressed citizen. However, I regret to say that sentiments in favor of the Chrysos heirs and Aglaya are only growing in magnitude. The peace that we are aspiring toward, as well as everything that we hold dear, will be destroyed completely. The city will be burned to ashes, and the citizens' blood will be shed.
It's interesting what she's saying, in that they want peace, but they don't seem to have any clue as to what is going on the outside. I mean, to be fair, we mostly almost completely only have the perspective of the Chrysos heirs, and although we've seen a lot of information that others wouldn't be privy to, simply by our main characterness, still it really makes me question them, because even seeing what they would see with like the Black Tide and the Titans and the enemies that have come to attack, it's how do you make peace with that? How do you think that you can make peace with that? Like, I don't understand where they're coming from in this at all.
Tell me, what are you willing to do for our esteemed citizens so that they can vanquish the enemies of our fine city?
Of course, it seems that they don't really care about that. It's more of a power grab than anything. But still, just that the argument seems to be strange. I feel like he would say this. And I think this is actually probably closer to his reason. I think he is trying to teach her a lesson here. I will be the one to shatter Aglaya's self-righteousness.
Aglaya's authoritarianism, conceit, and arrogance have granted her unfettered control for the most part. Yet these traits are also her greatest weakness. If I can render her helpless by forcing her to experience the agonizing pain of betrayal, I am certain she will never recover from such a setback.
Surely you don't believe that such a tiny betrayal will be enough to push her to her wit's end.
What's more, there are many who remain silent, merely watching to see how much chaos I can unleash. Not to mention, you know full well that the Chrysos heirs have never been a united front.
True. True.
In the name of Kefali, Akama thanks you for your sincere and valuable thoughts. At this stage, it's clear that you and I understand the benefits to be won from this discussion. Let me put it plainly. The Council of Elders has always been renowned for its fairness, and that fairness is built on a foundation of sincerity.
That's not something we've heard. We've heard about the Citizens Assembly, but not about the Council of Elders.
The Council of Elders has vowed to all citizens of Akaba that it will always remain loyal to them. As for you, my lord, How will you guarantee that you will be able to live up to such earnestness and will not betray Akama's indomitable citizens when the opportunity presents itself? Just as you now betray Aglaya when it suits you.
How absurd. My loyalty is unquestionable.
Surely you jest. My loyalty does not need to be proven. The fact that the Council of Elders is asking for proof of my loyalty is itself akin to a form of betrayal.
Ooh.
I am incredibly honored to have witnessed the both of you bury the hatchet in a civilized manner. However, I am afraid that I must interrupt for a brief moment. As the Theoros, I have observed the following. Lady Aglaya, the Goldweaver, is currently on her way to Dawncloud.
Oh. Well, I do believe that we might have a slight overabundance of guests today.
Feeling dissatisfied, Lady Kindness? Despite the Council of Elders' lofty residence on Dawncloud, it must still tolerate the whims of the Chrysos heirs.
So you were holding back just now. Seems like you are better at playing this game than I. In any case, I'm glad that she's arriving here. So tell me, Anaxagoras, now that you're an ally of mine, if Aglaya were to demand that I hand you over, what should I do?
Huh.
You can do as she says. Tell her that the Council of Elders merely wished to chat with me and had no intention of offending her. However, by doing so, the authority of the Council of Elders will be as thin as papyrus that has been soaked in blood. Not only can it be destroyed at the slightest touch, but the Council will also lose possession of a valuable core flame. No, more like 2 core flames. After all, at the next Citizens' Assembly, that young lady who is synonymous with death will also be standing on our side.
Oh? How can you be sure of that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Is that of importance to you? All you need to know is that I have a plan. In my opinion, you should be more worried about the impending threat. If Aglaya can seize me in full view of the masses today, she could also dismiss the entire Council of Elders in one fell swoop tomorrow. If that happens, the discussion that we've just had will turn into an utter joke instead. Is this the outcome that you wish to see, Lady Kindness?
Fine. I will handle this matter appropriately. But you do best to remember this. Fool the people and karma will be on your tail. I'll overlook it this time, but don't count on there being a next time.
Interesting. Because she really thinks highly of herself that she represents the people. This is the way someone that shouldn't have power and has power reacts to those kind of things. What's the word I'm looking for here? The utter contempt that they say as they pretend that they are using the people. Yes, the people. We definitely represent the people. No, you can't represent yourself. You wouldn't say that otherwise.
Unless, of course, you crave cruel punishment and consider suffering the perfect state to ponder the true nature of souls.
Well, what do you know? That happens to be one of my rare talents.
We shall see then.
Ah, I've got to say that you've managed to really impress me again. But shouldn't you be going after more?
Dying to know what I'm after, hmm?
I mean, I'm the reason Titan after all. It is in me to ask and seek answers.
Easy there. You'll learn the answer soon enough. I didn't bring it up with her purely because she doesn't have the means to give me what I truly want. It's as they say, onlookers see most clearly.
He's interested in Lycus then, okay.
The true masters of Dawncloud have always been the Theoros, who watches over everything.
Interesting. I mean, I guess I really didn't have to explore last time, but...
An expected visitor. Welcome once again. You know, you could actually skip all the pointless debate and come straight to me to seek an audience with Kefali.
See? This is what he's talking about.
I have no reason to refuse you, do I?
You may not, but Kindness has. Whoever gets hold of Kefali's core flame will get to rule over Akama. She's wary of me, so naturally I had to gain her trust. I would say that debate was not at all pointless.
Very true.
In my view, this individual has gone to great lengths to get close to Kefali. He might very well be plotting something nefarious against the Titan. Are you still willing to let him pass, knowing this?
Yes, very much so. All living creations are always free to visit Kefali's transcendent vessel. This comes with being the world-bearer.
I forget that Lycus can perceive Cersei's, even though others can't.
How convenient it is to be able to hear what they say.
It is truly my honor to speak to a venerated Titan in person. Please, go ahead. Let me join you both on this journey. Oh, a bygone myth tells of an occasion where Kefali once answered their followers' questions on the peak of the Holy Mountain. Their followers have since believed that scaling this Titan cliff is one way of being with the god.
Hear that? It's not every day that you get to climb a mountain with Cersei's. You should sing me a hymn of praise.
Haha. She's hilarious.
Titan hymns are beyond me.
Alright. Trying to make sure we don't miss any conversation. I'm supposed to be following you, but you're slow as hell, man. You look like you should be faster.
Go on ahead. Take this Yanis shortcut, and the long pilgrimage stairway will be waiting for you at its end.
I have to admit, I never expected you to not ask me anything. Not even my motive.
Because I know very well what it is you are after. As the saying goes, a gentleman helps others achieve their goals. I have a feeling that your theory will be validated at the end of this journey. I believe Kefali will not deprive you of your right to ask your question, especially now that you're on the brink of death. You must be closer to Kefali than anyone else. Wouldn't you agree?
I hope things go as you say, then.
Putting a child of justice into a farcical world is bound to turn it upside down. It is my hope that you bring a much-needed change to this world which is on the brink of destruction.
To be fair, that kind of makes sense, especially with the way the story is going, because as it's going right now, with the speed of how things are going, I don't think they would be putting together all of the Chrysos heirs in time to solve this. So it feels
Honestly, this is my first time going up to Dawncloud's peak.
It feels like something else has happened in order to resolve everything that's going on here. So I'm guessing this is what Anaxa's role in the story is to be kind of like the shortcut to actually resolve things. In terms of especially with all the, and using this political intrigue is what I'm saying, to accomplish this.
What a splendid view. Isn't it about time you recognize the magnificence of us Titans?
Well, I don't see how this place is different from those temples in the city. All they have are magnificent facades. And even though I've come this far, I'm still doubtful about getting useful clues from him.
I must be getting ahead of myself to be expecting to hear something nice from you.
Oh? Haven't you been in my head for some time now? It's high time you get used to how I feel about things. Alright, we're just a short hike away from Kefali. No time to waste here.
So the intellectual debate from earlier was too draining for you, huh? If Amphoreus gets a new lease on life, you should focus on strengthening your body and stop shirking social interactions.
Wow. Hitting him, trying to hit him in the balls now.
Save your concern.
The Titan is in sight. Can you make it?
Why? Are you going to carry me up if I were to fall now? I know how far I can go, so just hold your tongue and come along.
Fine then. I guess I won't say any more. I'll just wait till your soul dissipates completely to gain control over your body.
Wait. Who is that? Cersei's? Hey, look at that.
Huh? What should I be looking at?
Am I hallucinating? Or do we even get to see souls when we're close to dying?
Ooh, interesting. Oh, we won't get to talk to them? Or maybe, I guess, maybe up higher. Looks like here's one. Cersei's and the Strife Nikador?
Oh, why didn't you bring your favorite spear with you on this trip, Nias?
Nias. I know I've heard this name somewhere.
It's unfortunate. The Black Tide destroyed every last inch of my calyx.
How could that be? Even a creation of Georios, from their prized ores and molten fire, couldn't escape the fate of destruction?
Hey, Cersei's. Do you know a certain Nias?
Nias? No, not that I remember. How did you even think up such a strange name?
I just saw him. Nias. A warrior-like figure who was just chatting with you here.
No, I have no such memory. Could you be hallucinating?
She does have trouble remembering things right now. Like, she's missing substantial chunks of her memory. We learned in the last episode that, as she said, that he probably knows just as much about her as she does about herself. So, it's not surprising that she doesn't remember. The reason is why. Why doesn't she remember this?
This is a departed spirit.
This is a pilgrimage platform dedicated to devout believers. That you, Anaxagoras, never kneel to false gods. What about a prayer ritual? Oh, no, we can leave that up. Okay. So one of the things I wonder with the Titan, especially seeing some of this here and her not remembering stuff, is I wonder if there is, I don't want to say multiple versions, but they say it seems separate from each other. So I guess kind of what I'm saying. Like multiple versions, almost like a Cersei's Mark 1, Cersei's Mark 2, etc., kind of thing. So, I think what I'm thinking to put better words on it is almost like a reincarnation for the Titans, that they live so long and then die and lose some of their memories with each incarnation.
You two again.
Enough about me. Did Kaos ever reply to you?
Well, regrettably.
Seems like the price of becoming a demigod is a lot heftier than we thought.
Chaos. Demigod.
Oh, so we're learning that the Titans, is this the end result of taking a core flame, is becoming a Titan? Like fully becoming a Titan? This is what it seems to be hinting at right now.
I've never heard of this person. Which Titan's authority did he inherit?
Look on the bright side, Nias. Since we've come all this way, I doubt he'd snub his old friends, would he?
Let's just hope we mean as much as the world to him.
Hey! Are you seeing that same hallucination again?
Yes. It's still you and Nias, but you're now talking about a certain Kaos. I'm guessing he's one of your companions?
Kaos? This name sounds just as strange to me.
Never mind. I think I know what this is about. If things are as I thought, then they aren't hallucinations, but the souls of people.
What? But if those are the souls of the dead, then what am I?
Beats me. For all I know, you're just an illusion I conjured up in my dying moments. Let's just keep going. As long as I take in more sights and hear more stories.
Know your limits. Wander too far among the dead, and even I might not be able to save you.
I'm fine.
This is a pilgrimage platform dedicated to devout believers, but you, Anaxagoras, never kneel to false gods. I mean, this actually makes sense from what we know of the core flames, because as they've said, they lose their humanity as time goes on. This is what they were talking about with Aglaya and her losing her humanity. And you wonder, where's that go then? Does that mean, it could mean that those souls, the humanity that they lose, actually is still around, and is the souls of the humanity is still there even as they turn into Titans, and they kind of separate, I guess, is almost what it seems like. So I'm gonna say from a let's see, it's a wish fly. I said that tying a wind chime while making a wish here allows the sunbearer to hear her desires. Wish is simple. Hope for sunshine tomorrow to dry my dew-soaked wings. Very nice. But almost like as an end game to this whole story, it seems like there is a way for the Chrysos heirs to be saved from, quote unquote, saved from being demigods, and to get their humanity back, because their souls are available to in this world to be brought back. So if in the end they lose their divinity in order to bring Amphoreus back into the universe, I guess, then they can survive because their souls are still here. So that's my speculation on this as we're going. offering blessings again. Of course, we never kneel. Okay, I'll bring it back out though. Well, I want to do the puzzle, but I'm gonna have to skip it for right now.
So, we meet again.
Oh shoot.
Can you keep going?
Of course. I'm just... If I knew we had to climb a mountain, I wouldn't have come along with you.
I guess this also counts as one aspect of the world-bearing burden. If Amphoreus does have a next life, you may want to get your body in shape.
It's a conversation much like Cersei's just had with Anaxa.
Keep your sarcasm to yourself.
I'm not getting anything of value from them.
I would sooner throw myself off this cliff and hit rock bottom than exercise even a little.
Ah.
I am Calypso of the eminent Seven Sages, after all. Training would make me no different from those Helcalithist barbarians.
Oh.
Calypso. She's one of the Seven Sages. A member of the Grove? No, she can't be. I would know her name if she really were one of the Seven Sages. Hey, Cersei's. Does the name Calypso ring a bell? Cersei's? They're gone. Doesn't matter. I can do this myself.
But I was seeing a butterfly.
Looks like I'm nearly there now. The land of the dead.
Trying to figure out where. Oh, there it is. Okay, I guess this is gonna like turn or something so that we can see it, because I can't do anything with it right now. Hi ho hi ho. Yeah, I see it, but I can't do anything about it. Do I? Or unless I send the Hand of Zagreus at it. At some. Oops, press the wrong button. I'm pressing all the buttons for dash except the one that I need for this right now. Here it comes. Interesting hand there. The thumbs are...
Oh, beautiful old world. Where are you now? Oh, legendary era Chrysia, return to the mortal realm. Splendid gods once walked the paths we walk. Alas, all that's left of that warmth is a hazy mirage.
Why are you chanting that too?
Is that an old chant from when she was alive that's still relevant now? I was gonna say, it's interesting that the thumbs are lit up for that right now. And almost completely, the ball's almost completely lit up, but on this one, looks like it's missing a fourth of it. But over there, it looks like that one is lit up. Kephalese Lean, we came all the way up here, didn't we? Yeah. I did not go around though to check and see if there are any treasure chests around here. As you can see, precious treasure.
Oh, better than expected.
4-star HP, they're not bad. Speed with double attack on it. I mean, that's usable probably. That's better than a lot of crap I've been getting. Oh, I can do customize since this is what I want to now, yeah. If I got self about, I'm not using it right now, but. And then wishful resin to customize, which is nice, but I don't have that much of it. All right. Right now, I use one of the pigs here to run a little bit faster around. Ew. Right. Like we're looking at the titties here.
We're here. Finally. So, I don't get to ask the Titan my question. But all of you make for a pleasant surprise, nonetheless. Very well then. Let me uncover the truth for myself. Did I still fail to make it in time? Huh? So, I'm back here again. This is...
We saw this in the last episode.
I can hear it. I hear it from the depths of the tides, behind the closed doors of the void world. A voice ready to tell me something. This time, the voice is a lot clearer than before.
Look at her, she's so pretty.
Since we've come this far, let's just wait.
Lord Nias and Miss Calypso, are you both here to visit Chaos too?
Whoa, that's like a young Castorice.
Yes, and we've been waiting for quite some time now.
Regrettably, he hasn't answered us. The worst-case scenario is that he's already been overwhelmed and crushed by the world-bearing burden.
So Kausas must be the new Kefali. Or the old Kefali, I guess the pre-Kefali Kefali.
You're overthinking, Lord Nias. I can still sense Chaos' soul in the area. And besides, we both know Chaos' nature. A deliverer like him wouldn't fall so readily, much less give up on all that he holds dear. Isn't that so?
Who do we know that's the deliverer in our group right now? Finon? Interesting. This could be some foreshadowing we're seeing.
Yes. I have faith in him.
That reminds me. Why are you making this trip alone, Polixia?
Oh, my sister needs more time to make sure the flowers are fine.
Such a pity. Both of you have hearts kinder than anyone else. Yet you are born only to take over Thanatos' divinity.
Everything that I see and hear this time has left me shaken to the core. What may seem like a mundane conversation is in truth a once-in-a-lifetime exchange that has revealed the ultimate answer to Cersei's question.
It also reveals why when we were doing the whole Nikador thing and we went back in the past and we met Nias, and that he mentioned he was a part of Nikador. And now we know why, is because his original form before becoming the Titan of Strife was as Nias. And that's why that was like the main part and why the Titan of the time there was going crazy, is because he didn't have this part, and that was like the last of his humanity. Very fascinating here. This is very fascinating.
The conjecture has taken shape and must now be solidified into a theorem. Next, I only need to seek verification from Kefali. By doing so, I can answer Cersei's question and reclaim my body. But no, I will not do that. That isn't important. Because another one of my conjectures, one that I have always dreamed of proving, has been proved right this very instant. Fusing a mortal soul with that of a Titan to replace said Titan is not a ludicrous idea after all.
I mean, isn't that what they're doing with the Flame Chase journey, though? Now we're over to Dan Hung.
What are you thinking about?
Just amazed at how this towering tree is Cersei's divine body. It's a majestic sight.
Is that so? You don't look the slightest bit amazed, though. Plus, you seem to be strangely familiar with the city around the great tree.
Merely something from the past that I won't go into.
Events of the past, huh? I was also a child when I looked up at Cersei's. Their leaves and branches reflected the sparkling stars. And their trunk was like a pillar that supported the sky and ground. I stood at this very spot back then, imagining the day when I could climb to the top of this tree. Because I would be the closest I can be to the sky at that spot.
You're a sky priest, yet you study at a place that is home to the Reason Titan. That's rather counterintuitive.
Don't read too much into it. I mean, can mortals even hope to reach Aquila's realm? They're a strict and draconian god. Nothing like Cersei's. Reason is willing to share what is theirs with others, but Sky only expects people to revere them. You get what I'm saying, right, Denny? After all, the titan that imprisoned you and Grey here in Amphoreus is none other than Aquila themselves.
Yes, I didn't count on provoking the ire of a local god.
But there will always be people who dream of soaring towards the sky. The Grove has a wealth of research on Aquila, and that is exactly what we are here for. It's just... I never thought Grey would meet with something like that before we set off. As a physician, I should have been there by his side.
His, follow along with the subtitles. Her. Bad luck tends to come in streaks, so don't beat yourself up over it. Besides, a client needs you here to uncover the truth behind what happened to the Grove. Let's just make the most of this trip and keep a lookout for any documents related to the Death Titan. They can be useful to the Trailblazer.
Yeah, there's no rest for the weary, huh? In any case, what we're looking for could be anywhere in this enormous grove. Let's split up to cover more ground. Danny, with your skills, I'm sure those monsters born of the Black Tide will pose no threat to you anyway.
What about you? Will you be alright on your own?
Have you forgotten that you're talking to the chief physician of the Twilight Courtyard? Have more faith in me. I'll be just fine.
When you're an actual cinnamon roll here, I mean, seriously, can you be any more of a cinnamon roll with the hair twisting pigtails here and the cotton candy coloring? My god. The silence in here is near deafening. With the vast amount of knowledge it holds, this academy is akin to a labyrinth of information. Even the cleverest of scholars would easily lose their way in here. I should gather my thoughts before heading in. How to leave Amphoreus. In the myths, Aquila, the titan who reigns over the domain of the skies, is a colossal bird that overlooks the world beneath them with 100 eyes. As long as they continue to soar above the clouds, the people of Amphoreus will remain trapped on the ground. Hyacinth's forebears were priests who worshipped Aquila. Nobody is more familiar with the taboos of the Sky Titan than her. Seeing how Agalaya has sent her here as a guide, it's possible that she plans to have Hyacinth take on a trial in the future. Alright, to mythology. In Amphoreus, Titans are a common topic of discussion. People create myths that, in turn, conceive Titans. It's a tricky task to keep an objective view when among the people of Amphoreus. Is there a way to step out of the situation and look at it from a different perspective? Oh, is there more? My god. Titans and Eons. Titans and Eons are two distinct classes of beings. Titans can communicate with us humans, and it is not impossible for us to overpower them. Upon their demise, we can even take over their divinity. In this regard, Titans can be said to be a lot more similar to humans than Eons are. Right, Chrysos heirs. Chrysos heirs are humans who possess heroic qualities, with most of them demonstrating extraordinary combat prowess and strength. Upon clearing a core flame trial, a Chrysos heir can even ascend to a demigod and inherit a Titan's divinity. Wait, something about that feels off. Is this a selection process of some sort? Flame Chase Journey. Guided by the prophecy, the heroes are on a quest to reclaim core flames and usher in the Era Nova. Their efforts have seen gratifying results to date. As I expected, the prophecy is the hardest to make any sense of, but with barely any information to go on, no matter how much I ruminate on it, it won't yield any results. I should leave this for another time. Should probably turn my attention to something else. Plight. Nobody could have imagined that the Trailblazer's life would be forfeited the moment we landed on Amphoreus. I should have done more to keep her safe. But it's not too late. We still have a fighting chance. The unique rules that govern life and death on Amphoreus might just work in our favor and save her. The Grove is a veritable library of knowledge. Maybe they'll have records on a similar case? Please let there be one. The clock is ticking. I should search for clues as I move. Oh, we're not full here. The night sky feels unusual now that I've gotten used to the eternal light of Akama. Alright, let me load up another team. Oh, okay. Let's do a quick lineup then, because I need to. Oh, okay. No, we're not using that. Let's go. I think I do it this way. Is that what I've been doing? I think so. We'll find out. We can go that way, or we. But that's the way we came from, I'm guessing. I'll turn around now that I am. Oh, maybe not. That is not. That is the way we gotta go. Okay. And I'll turn around here. But it is fascinating to see that it seems to be a. Oh, okay, I'm going the wrong way. It is. Seems to be a cyclical process that Amphoreus goes through with the Titans being replaced. Oh, I gotta go down this way. That makes sense. Constantly, and kind of like a cycle of humans taking over. The question is, do the Titans all go crazy at some point? Which I guess would make sense with the whole divinity thing of the demigods. Have I not done that one yet? I gotta go through and do some of these. We've already been through the area, so like a lot of the puzzles should be completed. Somewhere. Okay, but that one's not interesting. We've definitely been this way. Oh, because yeah, I got stuck. I couldn't go up that way. We had to go. Oh, it's a bird. The bird's up there. Okay. We fought some stuff over here. Black monsters are twisted in form, and their life has turned to ash together with their souls. It's impossible to figure out their form when they were still alive. These are the remains of a black tide monster. It does look different from the Titankin from up close. What's that underneath it? A scroll? The Scholars' Debates. Number 1. A recorded debate between Venerationist and Nusporus scholars. Most of it is illegible, leaving only fragments of dialogue. Venerationist. We all recall that state that dared touch the sky. But what were they really? Just blind masses manipulated by ambitious politicians who dared challenge the Titan's authority? A completely meaningless attempt, an absolute mistake. Nusporus. You venerationists have bowed to the Titans for so long, you've forgotten the scholar's true purpose. Making a mistake does not mean the act was meaningless. Even those students new to the Grove understand this from basic logic lessons. An entire city-state reduced to ashes proved the skyship's construction was a mistake. To me, that's precisely the meaning they achieved through sacrifice. Am I hearing this right? Such a statement. Are you converting to venerationism? No, I am simply examining the matter from another perspective. And that's the legible content. Interesting. As expected, the Grove doesn't forbid discussions about the sky. It's a debate between two scholars about the skyships. Aklaya also made mention of the ships when she interrogated us. A memory I'd rather forget. I will hold on to this for now. With any luck, this journey won't leave us empty-handed. Anything else over here? No. Definitely can't go up this way yet, right? Yeah. Kind of figured. Would have had something. Yeah, because this is where we ran into Anaxa the first time. We're here. Alright, what's going on, Hyacinth? What's in a fight? That's Hyacinth? Why is she surrounded by so many monsters? As much faith as I have in her, it's probably a good idea to help her out there.
Really now? This is way more trouble than I could have asked for.
Need a hand?
Or you could sit back and watch.
Damn! I can't tell if you're serious or not, but being hard to read isn't without its perks, I suppose.
I'm kidding, Danny. Lend me a hand, pretty please. All right, now let's get him.
Are we getting a sneak peek of what she does? No.
You've got to lose some to win some.
Could have actually brought Trivi.
I always make good on my promises.
Oh, we're in slow mode now, aren't we? Okay.
Relax.
Allow me to purge the root. Time to cleanse the filthy.
May as well kill them all. Good times.
Might as well.
Time to say bye. Boom.
Oh, I thought that would have killed her. Boom. And now Jade. Boom. Boom. Oh, okay. Well, that works. Fire of Vengeance. What? What is this Fire of Vengeance crap?
Stand still. Where there's a will, there's a way.
Be up your body and
How about a little bit of healing? Double healing. Oh, just about got it all back. This place is practically in ruins. What happened? There shouldn't be this many monsters here.
The Black Tide is remarkably quick to detect the light of Amphoreus. So or rather, the blessings of the Sky Priest in me, might have unknowingly called them to me. Anyway, never mind that for now. Here, you might want to have a look at this. I found it around here and thought it might be of interest to you.
Oh, another debate. Okay. Euthyphro. Well then, enlighten me. What exactly do you mean by examining it from another perspective? Simple, you see. When we stand normally, the sky is above. When we stand on our heads, it's below our feet. I don't even know what to know. I don't even want to know what kind of situation inspired you to make such exalted theories. By the way, I have a student who loves to write satirical comedies and once wrote about a fool who could not figure out a question no matter what. As I said, there's no reasoning with you venerationists. You're like Dromuses, huge yet always gazing downward at the earth. Well, I want to be the wasp that stings the Dromas. What if that state tyrant's defeat simply proved that among all paths to Ocula, the skyship was the wrong one? Anaxagoras, you impious blasphemer, mark my words, you will eventually answer for your sacrilege. I doubt your students, or that young teaching assistant girl, have any idea what secret research you're truly conducting. Anaxagoras. He's the scholar who fused himself with the core flame of reason.
This is new. I didn't know Professor Anaxa was researching the sky. He's never mentioned anything about it.
Bainan said Anaxa might be opposed to the flame chase journey.
Might is an understatement. Anaxa has never been one to venerate the gods, nor has he ever found it within himself to put any faith in the prophecy. People have come to think of him as a heretic, even in a place as liberal as the Grove.
Yeah, everyone hates the man.
Yet, it is also this very blasphemer that Circe's favors. Fate sure works in mysterious ways.
It's the opposites attract theory. I picked up a scroll on my way here too. It looks like it may be related to the one you're holding.
Oh? Let me have a look.
Hyacinth combines both records together.
By the looks of them, these scrolls are records of two conversations that took place in the same setting, one after the other.
There's still much I don't know about the Grove. Do you mind if I ask a few questions?
Sure, go ahead.
Who are the Venerationists?
The Grove of Epiphany is home to 7 schools of thought. While all 7 schools are founded on the ideologies of Thalesis, the first scholar, each is unique in its own way. Among them, the Venerationists revere and worship the Titans the most.
It's like the Academia in Genshin.
As the sage of the Venerationists, Euthyphro has always been at loggerheads with Anaxa. If we were to place the 7 sages on the scales of Talanton, Anaxa and Euthyphro would be placed on opposite sides to achieve balance.
A very illustrative explanation. Thank you. Was it a mistake to build the skyships?
Nearly everyone in Amphoreus has heard the story of the skyships by now. Aquila's stature is loftier than the heavens, and their divine retribution is merciless. That's why it's no use building giant skyfaring ships. Oh, but I do wonder if a supercharged mini Treaty cannon could slip past their watch.
What? That was a joke, right? What is Anaxa's field of study?
Newsporists primarily study the application of alchemy in soul repair. Everyone considers Anaxa a blasphemer, but that has never stopped him from sharing his ideas, no matter how taboo. If you must say that he's hiding something, then it's likely what lies beneath his eye patch.
Right, I got for a second, those bears running through me. All right, there we go. Better. All right. It's a sour beer here is running through here. Been good though. Been enjoying it. Still got a little bit of it. Just kind of nursing it. Don't need to drink it. Don't need to shove it down my throat. I'd rather enjoy it. I don't have any more questions.
Anaxa often says that every failure brings us one step closer to the truth. Perhaps, to him, the crash of the skyship carries a different interpretation. The firmament is not impenetrable. On the contrary, it was precisely because the skyship represented the first step toward breaking free from the shackles of the Earth that it provoked the wrath of the Sky Titan and brought divine punishment upon itself. It's a shame that the majority of the Grove's research on Aquila was headed by the Venerationists, with sacrificial rituals making up a predominant part of their findings. Discourse about more esoteric subject matters in relation to Aquila dwindled even further after the skyship incident. So much so that even this scroll is completely new to me.
Sacrificial rituals? My god. But venerationist, if you don't know, veneration means to, to venerate someone. Basically like a form of, that does not really worship, but really admire, I guess, is the the definition. Don't worry about it. We'll just collect everything we can find on the Titans for now. There's something else that's caught my attention, though. This says that Anaxa is conducting secret experiments of some sort.
That's what I'd like to know. What are these experiments he's involved in? Even I, the assistant lecturer, know next to nothing about them.
Next to nothing doesn't mean nothing, though.
I have a bad feeling about this. Could there be more to what happened at the Grove?
Could say, is that an enemy? Alright. I was gonna go up to it and try talking to it. Now we're going into the tree. I guess I could use the pig, but oh well.
This is the Library of Philia, a place where the Grove stores its collection of tomes. Other than books written by the 7 schools, you can also find philosophical texts, ballads, and religious writings from the Outlands here. Cities that desire to learn from the Grove were apparently expected to contribute knowledge of equal value to what they sought. We've had more than our fair share of hilarious episodes over the years. For instance, it's said that the Erythrocheramists once borrowed a manuscript from a certain author, but ended up returning a copy instead of the original. What's more, the original manuscript was supposedly then hidden here.
This is hilarious. That doesn't seem like a nice thing to do.
Nice? No need to hold yourself back, Danny. You can just tell it like it is. Their behavior was no different from bandits.
Agreed, as a librarian, yes, I agree. But also, that also not hilarious. Well, if you don't mind, did the Grove ever rob Castrum Crymnos?
Whew. You've got me there. Some said you couldn't even find a dictionary in Castrum Crymnos, so I guess they were spared.
Ha! Now that's funny.
There are too many books in the Library of Philia. Flipping through them all will take too long. Why don't we use the Biblioslate to search for the texts we need? We can bring them back to Akama for reading after that.
Agreed. This place isn't safe. We should leave as soon as we're done. There are still several more scrolls strewn all over the place. I'll gather them while you pull up those texts. This way, nothing will be overlooked. Alright, we're just going down. Alright. Can do. Doop. Investigate. These are complaint letters from the scholars about Anaxa, the blasphemer. There's a thick stack of letters. Based on the dust accumulated in perfectly intact seals, the complainee did not even bother opening them and just chucked them aside into a corner. This is about Anaxa? I should read this. Hyoscene, you should come have a look too.
Ugh, it's so dusty in here. Whoa. Are these all complaints about him? I can already see what they must have written. Anaxa has no respect for the gods. His very existence undermines order in our society. They're probably all things like that.
Does Anaxa hold that much influence?
Why else would they call him the great performer? When Anaxa established his school of thought, the first thing he apparently did was read his own work to everyone.
Now that's hilarious. I like that.
Are the Titans truly an accurate reflection of what humans think gods should be? Worlds created by gods are indubitably perfect, but what of Amphoreus? Only foolishness and insensitivity everywhere you turn.
Her impression is better than mine. An uncanny impersonation. What happened after?
They marched him straight to the seat of judgment before he could finish. Though what he took on in the end was more of a debate than an actual trial. He had to address every one of the scholars' allegations, or face expulsion from the Grove. The first allegation was... Do you agree that since the Titans created the heavens and earth, so the mountains, rivers, and seas must likewise be their creations?
Am I supposed to put myself in Anaxa's shoes and enter that? Well, you'd obviously say no, and I would too. Based on the history of the Flame Chase journey, humans have the potential to take over the divinity of Titans.
Anaxa said the same thing then. Needless to say, his critics didn't take kindly to his answer, so they followed up with a second allegation. You claim to be studying souls, yet you are, in fact, defiling them and committing acts condemned by the gods. Do you admit it?
That's a serious allegation. Did he really do that?
Anaxa always wears an eye patch, never removing it, even when alone. Some say he used one of his eyes as an alchemical ingredient.
And according to a flashback, this is true.
Every being in the world owes their safekeeping to Kifili, and this is even more so for the Chrysos heirs who have divine blood coursing through them. If he has really done something of that nature, then it'd indeed be sacrilegious.
Yes, he was trying to bring back the soul of his younger sister, and all he ended up being able to do was see her for... I forget how long it was. It wasn't even that long. So yes, he did use his eye as an alchemical ingredient.
Thankfully, they had no way to prove it, so it amounted to nothing more than an allegation in the end. One by one, Anaxa engaged in wars of words against those who would challenge him. Toward the end, a scholar asked him, Anaxagoras, have you any respect for the gods? It was only after a brief silence that he answered, I have never denied that Titans are meant to be noble constructs.
What he didn't say, that the Titans are not noble, rings louder in this case.
Yes. I'm not sure how that controversy was eventually resolved, but what's for certain at least is that Anaxa was allowed to stay in the Grove where he continued his research, despite being regarded as a heretic. By the way, this stack of complaint letters has reminded me of a place in the Grove. We may find clues there that aren't on the teleslate. I'm talking about Anaxa's alchemy lab, hidden between the cornerstones.
Oh, I've not been there. Given the Grove's meticulous approach to archiving, could there really be such an oversight right under their noses?
It's a well-kept secret. Among the 7 sages, excluding the nominal chief sage, Each has a private sanctuary where they can conduct research undisturbed in their free time. Even the administrators of the Library of Philia are restricted from accessing those places and documenting the sage's research. But with the grove in this state, I'm sure Anaxa won't be mad even if we sneak into the lab for a short while. Right?
Alright, guess that's what we're doing. These trees are like a maze. A record of the many research topics Caprist scholar had applied for, and the replies from their school's sage about those topics. Topic 1, a discovery that many mythical beasts renowned for their longevity actually reside in areas with poorly managed birth and death records for such creatures. Permission to research. Reply, lacks research significance. Not approved. Topic 2, an observation of real plants within the grove imitating the growth patterns of nearby white dryads. Permission to research. Reply, falls under the domain of the Lotophagist school. Lotophagist. Not sure how they're pronouncing it. Investigating the feasibility. Oh, this is topic 3. Investigating the feasibility of placing flying birds into rocket tubes to guide the direction of the rocket's flight. Permission to research. Reply, too fanciful, not approved. The subsequent topics grew increasingly eclectic, yet the outcome of the replies remained unchanged. Impressive tenacity. Hopefully it helped them survive the black tide. Oh, I wonder if it's the dude. The old dude that we met. Oh, we gotta go up. Call water wheel. Coming. Boom. Up we go. Doom, 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 doom. And stop. Right. Wait, is it going further up the tree?
This is the place, but where is everything? Materials for alchemical experiments, matrix diagrams, and even the seal to the lab. They're all gone. Did the black tide destroy it all?
Well, the black tide did come through. We ran through here when we were chasing after Anaxa as we were going up the tree. We met a scholar in here. No wonder we didn't see any defense mechanisms along the way. Have you ever been here before?
No, not even close. Not only are alchemy experiments high-risk activities, but Professor Anaxa also has a penchant for using bizarre materials. Students often saw him walk in looking bright as rain, but come out covered in soot with his hair singed. Naturally, no one dared to come near this place. Huh? That bookshelf over there seems to be the only thing still intact.
There were dirty magazines in here, or dirty scrolls. I wonder if that's one. That'd be funny. These are the materials requested by Anaxagoras. Documents from various fields have been compiled in one place, including Titan creations, the universality of the soul, alchemy doctrine, and so on. Most of the materials look to be within the research domain of the Nusporus school of thought. However, a document titled A Study on the Chrysos Heir's Background is mixed within. A hastily written journal. These appear to be quick notes examining the background of Chrysos Heirs. The Holy Maiden of Yanisopolis, Tribi, Trian, and Trinan, descendants of the Holy Maiden from the Temple of the Three Fates. Goldweaver Aglaya of Akama, from the Nestia priestly family. The Prince of Castrum Kremnos, Hyacine of the Twilight Courtyard, all of their ancestry have varying degrees of connection to the Divine Titans or their divine authorities. Does the Golden Blood come from the heritage of priest families or royal bloodlines? Anaxagoras, I myself show no such connection. Kefali the Creator, what criteria did they use to create the Golden Blood to shape the Chrysos heirs? Yet Castorice, the servant of death from Idonia, her lineage is neither Titan priest nor demigod, but she has walked the earth for at least a millennium with the power to grant death to humans. Where did this power come from? Another text speaks of the dragon legends of Styxia. I guess it's Styxia. The alchemical extraction of soul ripped from dragon corpses is intriguing. Dragons appear to be the Titan's creations. Perhaps there's a way to reverse the process, using alchemy to refuse human souls with Titan creations, increasing the purity and divinity of Golden Blood towards the Absolute. This theory must be tested. Experiments to be arranged.
What's going on? Anaxa is conducting research on our friends in Alchema and... me?
This journal contains several intriguing points. I wanted it's informational research, not like experimental research though. He's looking into family trees and stuff, and he's trying to see how Chrysos heirs are selected, because they're saying Golden Blood, and he doubts that this blood is the reason, and he seems to be wondering whether it is a familial style passing down of power, I think, and I think that's what he's wondering, because he doesn't understand why he would be picked as one, or how they decided that he was a Chrysos heir, a Nexus that is. And it doesn't explain Castorice, although she has been living for a long time, although we saw from the flashback with Circe / Calypso and Neas that seems to be, I guess that was probably her sister, but that they were created solely to propagate the divinity of Thanatos. So it's very interesting. Like I said though, it's informational research instead of experimental research. So I don't know why she's so, I guess she's just wondering why he wouldn't just ask, as opposed to clandestinely looking into her past, maybe into her family. Creation of Titans. From the abyss of fate to Castrum Kremnos, I've seen many a Titan creation during my time in Amphoreus. Life forms created by Circe can also be found in the Grove. But fusing them with human souls through alchemical means? Can't even begin to imagine. The Chrysos heirs. Anaxa seems to hold special interest in the divinity coursing through the Chrysos heirs' veins, and has even conducted a thorough investigation into the heroes' backgrounds.
It wouldn't have been so strange if he had focused only on Cassie, given her own curiosity about her origins. Plus, considering that the Nusporists have crafted omnipotent medicines capable of curing diseases, it also makes sense that he would conduct research on immortal Chrysos heirs. But now, it seems Anaxa's objective was never to create medicine, but to identify the origin of the Golden Blood and figure out its inner workings.
I guess a byproduct of looking into that, and also maybe he felt guilty about doing it, and so he wanted at least something good to come out of it. Anaxa's research. Through alchemy, Anaxa aims to refine the Golden Blood in the Chrysos heirs to a degree of purity equal to divinity. This must be what he means by close to true purity. But treating both Titan creations and the human body as materials to be used in alchemy experiments? That's rather extreme.
Danny, look at this. I have a bad feeling about this.
A hastily written journal too. These documents appear incomplete. Judging from what's left behind, the important alchemical formulae have been taken away. Only the author's reasoning remains. The previous approach has flaws. Fusing human souls with Titan creations does not purify golden blood. Even pure Titan creations are contaminants to the Chrysos heir's golden blood. Soul fusion between humans and creations merely repairs impurities of the soul or maintains a connection to dying souls. It's not purifying the blood. The blood does not react well, but it repairs impurities of the soul. Interesting. While creation myths tell us that Chrysos heirs and other creations were all made by Titans, their nature differs fundamentally. The Titans' creations are no intermediate products of an alchemical process, and the Chrysos heirs are closer to the Titans than the creations. In other words, I should not have considered Titan creations equal to Chrysos heirs. The hypothesis I should focus on is one pointed towards the Titans themselves. Such rare chances to study Titans demands a meticulous selection of research subjects. Living Titans prove impossible to restrain, and dead Titans offer no insights worth pursuing. But dying Titans, they are the perfect research subjects. Only by understanding the fundamentals of creation can we ensure perfection at the moment of everything's birth. Through my own hands, I will melt a Titan and reach the true essence of the soul. A little bit of craziness in here.
My biggest fear. It's come true. After going through his notes, I think I can piece it all together now. Anaxa was carrying out experiments on soul transmutation.
Do you mean he's trying to reconstruct human souls alchemically?
Yes, this is what he was secretly conducting research on. Something he had to keep hidden from others. Compared to his public speeches, this is the real blasphemy. Oh, I just thought of something.
What's wrong?
Do you remember when the Black Tide was approaching? The Grove had planned to send Circe's core flame to a safe place. But an accident happened along the way, and Anaxa lost his life in the process.
Right. But Circe took over his body and resurrected him, which led to the situation we're in now.
That's right. But what if Professor Anaxa's fusion with the core flame of reason wasn't an accident?
What do you mean?
Put yourself in his shoes. Knowing that the Black Tide was closing in and your time was running out, what would you have done?
I'd put my theories to the test, no matter the cost.
Exactly. When the Black Tide came, the true reason Anaxa headed to the Luminary Throne was to transmute and fuse himself with the Titan's core flame.
Did he succeed?
No. Judging from how he reacted after the event, the results came as a surprise. Maybe he failed to consider the possibility that Circe would make a similar decision. The manuscripts detailing all the alchemical formulae have been taken away. His research is still ongoing.
Could he have taken them for other purposes?
Like what? There's only one Titan left in the world now. No. No way.
To conceive an entity of perfection, one must first understand the principles of creation. If Anaxa is in Akama now, then that means...
He's after Kefali.
Very good.
Sir, this sky above us, it's not real, is it?
The interesting thing about that room, though, is that I don't think they originally conceived it to be Anaxa's lab, because like I said, they had someone in there, and he was reading stuff in there, and I don't think Anaxa would have let him do that, so they kind of retconned that a little bit, or didn't feel like making a new room.
Of course not. This is just an image from a projection device used for educational purposes. A simple trick. The day-night cycle has been lost to this world. So that students like you may still learn about the night sky, astronomers have harnessed the Titan's miraculous power to manipulate the light, projecting the nights of the past here for you. Much like how the sky above the holy city is also illuminated by Kefali's dawn device.
So, the skies of Akama are fake too.
You mustn't conclude that, Anaxa. You should know that only a child would expose a trick and be proud of it. Often people know more than they let on. They simply choose to feign ignorance because they have no other choice.
Then they're just deluding themselves. People believe in Kefali's tale of Genesis, accepting wholesale whatever the priests preach. But we are different. We've already walked out of the firelit cave of ignorance. We have already realized that we live in a world where Titans make the rules. Even when we look at the sky, we're only seeing what they allow us to see. Rather than gazing at this mockery of a night sky fabricated by them for the rest of my life, why shouldn't I be the one to take control of the projection device instead?
So much time has passed since you sowed the seeds of doubt in my heart, child. Many a night, I find myself penning down all my theories and wild ideas, only to burn them to ashes when I open my eyes in the day.
Why? Because we'll face death by burning if word gets out?
As a sage of the Venerationists, my soul has already become inextricably linked to the great tree. Every word I say and every move I make is certain to influence every leaf, every branch, even the tree itself. But above all else, my days are numbered. Instinctively, I have my doubts about the golden blood and the human soul, yet I have no means of verifying them. The golden blood in my veins is woefully thin, and I am loath to waste what little time I have left obsessing over a hypothesis that cannot even be proven in the first place.
But I can, sir. I can do it for us. The time is right. Give me all that I need, and I shall accomplish this grand feat on your behalf.
You're right. I shall do just that. In the next meeting of the sages, I will spare no efforts fighting for the rights you deserve. Go. Establish your own school of thought. Find out what we are. Become the one who conquers the ultimate truths of the world.
So he didn't do this alone.
Child of humanity. You didn't go to such lengths for an audience with Kefali. Just ask him a few questions, did you?
So, you figured it out. If I were as foolish as a Dromus, perhaps I'd throw myself down and prostrate before their greatness, begging for the gods' prophetic wisdom. Well, sorry to disappoint, but I'm no Dromus. Alas, I am a human, standing tall on 2 feet, possessing both intellect and pride.
Before such power, does it make any difference whether you're a human or a Dromus?
I'm sure you're familiar with the story of the Styxians. When the raging waves threatened to swallow them, they didn't just give up and become sitting ducks. No. They constructed a dam that kept the roaring tide at bay, chaining down the mad Fagusa.
That's so true.
They call me a blasphemer, Xerxes. But that doesn't mean I deny the existence of gods. It's just, as I see it, Titans are simply a force that mankind has yet to find a way to tame.
Oh? If power that rivals the Titans is what you crave, why not conform to the prophecy and brave the trial?
Why stop at harnessing the power of the Titans when I can do so much more? The source of life is what I wish to grasp, to understand what makes up the soul, and to learn what we really are. Thanks to you, I've had the chance to personally verify, in more ways than one, that the soul indeed ceases to exist in death. But where there is death, there is life. And where there is an end, there must also be a beginning. How then is a soul born? That was the only unknown variable left in my calculations.
And by the sound of it, you have already formed a conjecture.
It's funny that he says in his calculations, but that doesn't mean he's not missing variables.
No, I have already drawn a conclusion. In my journey unto death just now, I finally saw the answer with my own eyes.
Professor Anaxa. I'm here. Her life hangs by a thread. I must ask you to refrain from taking any unnecessary steps.
Of course. I'll bring this to a conclusive end, and give you the answer you so desire. However, in accordance with the principle of equivalent exchange, I must also demand from you what I need.
As you wish.
Don't you care to know what the price might be?
It's a matter of uncovering the truth about the Death Titan and her survival. This may be the only time I can ever save someone's life. There is no need for me to think twice.
But as we look at her, this is why I think it was her sister that was in the flashback and not her, because her sister talked about, the person in the flashback talked about flowers and everything, and Castorice obviously is someone who is into flowers.
I see. In that case, let the show begin.
Indulge me. Am I correct to say that you intend to prove Thanatos' whereabouts and prove the nature of our existence now?
Before I begin, I must confess I had been stuck in a cognitive trap all this time. As unrelated as these two propositions may seem at first glance, they are in fact logical equivalents. They are merely two different ways of telling us about what the soul is at its core.
Hi Rezzy, who's my favorite character? That's a good question. My first instinct, of course, is to say Kafka, because God, Kafka's awesome. Probably is my favorite character, but I'm trying to think to make sure there's no one else that really slips in, whether it's even a minor character in this. Maybe Ranmei. Ranmei is a second, I think, close second. I'm on the America server. But yeah, probably one of those two. Do I play Star Rail because of the lore or gameplay? I play it for the lore, and the gameplay is of being turn-based is more up my alley than like Genshin is, I think. So I enjoyed the gameplay more in this than in Genshin, even though I do like Genshin quite a bit. So, but yeah, I play it for the lore. It's been, especially the last few planets here have been pretty fascinating with all the stuff they've come up with. Been enjoying it quite a bit. Some of the storytelling they've done has been really good.
The reason I say this is, as I've mentioned earlier, the answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now, but that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Do I plan on getting Anaxa? No, I'm not going to be pulling for Anaxa. As a free-to-play player, I had to kind of pick and choose, and so I've been pulling for waifus as much as possible. Do I have Castorice? Yes. Yes, I got her in 50 pulls, which was very, very good for the number of jades that we got here left.
That's not all. Remember how I said you were a part of that conversation too, Circes?
And I've told you that I have no recollection of such an event. That was likely just an illusion conjured up by the mind of a dying man.
Of course you wouldn't remember. Because that wasn't you. That was Calypso, one of the 7 sages of the Grove.
Calypso?
Ooh, do you know her? You would probably still remember her then.
That's the name I made up on a whim when speaking to this girl. How do you know of it? And surely you jest. Don't you think I, of all people, would know if that were the name of one of the 7 sages under the shade of my tree? Don't you claim to know the Grove's past like the back of your hand?
Castorice has 9,200 HP. That's pretty good. Mine isn't built, so I think mine's only like not even at 4,500. It's not that great. But I'm still trying to get some decent artifacts. So yeah, mine's not any good, but still early. But that's pretty good. She seems like she'll be fun to play.
It seems you've lost even the memories seared into your soul.
Wow. E2S1, man. I don't pull for any light cones. That's how I'm able to pull for characters.
Use your head, Circes. Since all of this took place in the realm of the dead, it stands to reason their likenesses are of souls from the past. The living cannot step foot into that world, so who could they be? Think about Calypso. Why does she share your likeness, yet you have no idea who she is? The answer is evident, is it not? Those fallen heroes are the mortal incarnations of the Titans before their ascensions to godhood. The gods aren't master creators born out of thin air, and they are no different from humans, because they all evolved from one.
Yeah, that's what we were kind of guessing from this whole bit so far of storytelling.
Does this answer disappoint you?
Yes, because you've answered nothing. If I truly was once human, as you claim, then where do the children of humanity come from?
I know next to nothing about Fate, so the collab for me is not that exciting, I guess. But I think it's cool for the people that really like Fate. I know a lot of people do.
Even on the off chance that you speak the truth, this brings us no closer to grasping Thanatos' whereabouts. How are we to find them?
I knew you would say that.
You did say two different conjectures here that end up being related.
But it matters not. I know what I'm doing. Actually, why don't we have this supreme being standing before us tell us everything?
You can revive a Titan?
Humans cannot return from the dead. Neither can gods. But all we need to do is look at this from a different perspective, and the problem will resolve itself. The solution is simple. Just like what you did to me. If I'm reborn as Kefali, I can rebuild the world and all within it as they once did. Simple, is it not?
But he's not destined to do this. In the meantime,
I have news from Hyacinth and Dan Heng. Anaxa might be trying to do something with Kefali's divine body.
Interesting that they brought Fine in, though. Very interesting, especially in light of the flashback we saw, what, 20 minutes ago? Very interesting.
Carefully. But what could Anaxa want? Is the Council of Elders going to sit around and let such a sacrilegious act unfold?
That is not possible. He is indeed the great performer, capable of fooling anyone and everyone with his tricks.
I'm sorry.
No need for guilt, for this is good news to us. The Council of Elders has found themselves a traitorous ally. Anaxa's ambitious desires will be something we can exploit. What we should be doing now is to keep our eyes peeled for whichever trickery Cainus is up to, and react accordingly to thwart her plans. Being Akima's political center, the Demigod Council holds just as much significance as the Vortex of Genesis. Someday, after my duty is over, this site will take the place of the battlefield where you hunt gods. Become the next challenge you ought to overcome. Till then, it's best to get used to this place as soon as possible.
Come find us anytime you need something. Oh, bye.
Preposterous! The Christos heirs only have their standing because of the Council of Elders. How dare they trample over it?
Wow, these people are shooting daggers with their eyes.
It's been a while.
What up, Crowdrolls? But we've never met. Hello, Oleg of Amphoreus.
What is that supposed to mean?
Ha.
Is this really the sort of person that the young lord praised as a ferocious warrior?
It has indeed been some time, Lord Crataros. What brings you here in such haste?
Shh, keep it down. Be more vigilant. See those duplicitous dogs over there? They do the dirty work for Cainus. I've already ordered my people to hold them back, but we should still lay low. Unless you're itching for a bloody fight to get a workout in.
My bad. So, did something happen?
Did you hear thunderclaps last night? Thunderclaps are beacon signals of strife. They are a message from the young lord. He threw a spear bearing several words at Akama.
What did we say? It would be hard not to notice thunderclaps in broad daylight.
Watch out. The Flame Reaver is back.
I guessed as much. We didn't actually kill them back at the Kremnos Arena.
I figured this is something you would want to know. We Kremnoans never back down from a fight. So if you plan to take that thing down in a battle, reach out to me anytime.
Bro, you're not gonna get in any fight with us.
You have my gratitude. I will let Aglaya know about this right away.
Remind her to be on her toes while you're at it. That vicious Cainus has been unusually active lately. Those lackeys she keeps under cover have been going in and out of the city a lot more frequently these days. Some even seem to be getting Kremnoans to defect to the Council.
Get off! How dare you! Don't place that!
That's...
Looks like you can see it for yourself.
We should get back. Thank you for the intel, Lord Crataros.
Interesting. Alright, let's see. Alright, I guess we haven't done a look at our characters recently. That's a kind of see what we got here in terms of our, at least, top of the line 5 stars here. Got a good old Kafka. A Jade, who I've been using extensively here on Amphoreus with the quantum weakness a lot of them have. Been pretty good. Not super well built. Linksha. Of course, we got a Robin. A Clara. Is she 2 now? E1, okay. Firefly, mine sucks. I haven't really built her. I've been using ones from my friend list to really work on it. to do anything with her, because I use her a lot of friends for grinding out materials and stuff. Really good for that, especially with like an E2 one. Okay, of course. Ting Yun. Not really built either, actually. Could do better. Kimiko, who I was the last of the lady 5 stars that I got of the standard banner. Of course, the Trailblazer. Of course, got the Herta. Still building a bit too. Ron May. Of course, I guess we may go for the E1 with the free pull thing. Jing Liu. Glaya. Got an Acheron. Bailu. E2. Black Swan. A Shao. I use a lot. Also not fully built. I should finish building with the... Look for some more of the relics there. Waha. Branya, who I may use my free standard on. I haven't fully built her out, but I think her E1 is supposed to be pretty good. There's our Castorice. As you can see, not very good yet. Got a Treebee to build. Sparkle. Shuan. Super high HP one. Silver Wolf, who was the mainstay of my team for a very long time. Then 4 stars when I fin and all that. But I do have some dudes that they're benched. Don Hunk, who we had to use at the beginning. Pard, the free Dr. Ratio. Gotten a couple welts now, so he's the E1 from the standard banner pulling. Luca Gallagher, Misha, Mose, Ireland, Sampo. Yeah, so that's how the old roster looks right now. Alright, let's see. Let's see what's going down here.
Someone trampled right over the Master's flower bed, yet the Master only fumes in silence. Oopsie. There goes the reputation of the Council of Elders.
Whose side am I on? Why, I'm all for the Council of Elders to reclaim their authority, of course.
Interesting.
They're here. The Chrysos heirs are here.
A couple of them.
Oh, I should have gone back home to fetch a sacrificial vessel, some floral crowns, and frankincense to burn and offer.
Oh, Titans! Please, forgive these arrogant and self-conceited heroes!
By Catholic into Lenten above, as the Theoros I have observed. Virtuous citizens of Akama, fine Navides, Elysiae, and the Outlander are heading toward us.
Slowly, but yes, finish talking. Alright.
Aglaya, what happened here?
I know about the poisonous fangs of that king snake through the golden threads. In the past, I would be confident about keeping her in check, but I admit I am now unable to do so.
What do you mean?
It is no longer about eloquence or arguments. I have been a demigod for far too long that I hardly have any humanity left. Before I realized it, I have become no different from these hypocrites, no longer capable of relating to the people. This has come a lot sooner than I expected. But perhaps it is time. I need you to step up, Finan, in order for me to retreat behind the scenes.
Yes, this is my duty, but...
It is far easier for the Council of Elders to fool many than just fool one person. Their so-called more support is no more than a ruse to distribute power using words instead of lances. There is no glory in winning this debate, but that makes having respect for humans so much more priceless. Finan, You are a Chrysos heir without flaw, capable of relating deeply with humans.
I appreciate what you've taught me, Aglaya. I hope we'll live up to your expectations and win this debate.
Again, this seems to be setting him up to be carefully.
Oh, you've done well, Lord Calictus. Let me take over and personally close this debate for today. Dearest counselors, let it be known that I sorely miss the blissful times portrayed in lyrical poems. Back then, Amphoreus was home to nearly 1,000 cities, each with their own local faith, while gods walked the earth and shared close bonds with humans. Yet, in the present, people from all over are forced to leave their homeland to seek refuge in the holy city, where they hope to rest under Kefali's protection. All of us have long been in the same boat, with no way out of this plight. We didn't have a choice in the past, but now the Council of Elders brings to the table a new possibility. All I have left is one question for you. Would you rather strive toward the unheard of Era Nova, or return to the prosperous Era Chrysia of our past? Make your choice.
I mean, we've heard a lot about the Era Chrysia, but not sure that it actually existed. It's kind of the thing that conservatives tend to talk about a lot of, is the golden age of the past that came about under completely different circumstances that are not relevant in the present because things change. It's the way the world works. I mean, technology advances and people advance and civilizations advance, and what worked back then is not going to work now. But even so, it seemed to have been, I mean, everyone's questioned it, even in the flashback that we saw with Calypso and Nias, where they talked about Era Chrysia and not being too sure of it seemed like. So, very interesting to bring that up in this way.
Now, which of the two would lead mortals to an ideal future?
If it's possible to bring back Era Chrysia back? I feel like picking this would set him up for something. But how are we supposed to send Amphoreus back to Era Chrysia?
We all know that Era Chrysia is a thing of the past, Lady Kindness. Please, enlighten me. How does the Council of Elders plan to turn back time?
Let the three titans of calamity be born, and Era Chrysia is nevermore. But bring demise to those titans, and Era Chrysia will descend upon us again.
What?
Know that the Council of Elders is never one to make empty promises. Look at who we have on our side. Anaxa, one of the Grove's 7 sages, and Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death. With the help of these two heroes, I can promise all of you that Era Chrysia will exist once more.
Again, that doesn't really add up when you think about it.
Aren't they Chrysos heirs? They're supporting the Council of Elders instead?
It's clear from the start that these heroes do not get along well in their group. All the more proof that Aglaya isn't fit to speak on behalf of every Chrysos heir. I am in favor of Era Chrysia.
Era Era Chrysia! Era Chrysia!
We feel betrayed.
Castorice? Why are you standing over there?
You finally arrived, Anaxa. So have you, Cass.
Don't worry, Aglaya. Well, I know that you have many queries. Could you continue to converse like how the citizens normally do?
Like Anaxa does that? Come on now.
Tell me, dear citizens, if we successfully retrieve and return Thanatos' core flame without anyone passing the Death Titan's trial, what would happen next?
The answer is simple. We will have a chance to rid the world of death and bring Amphoreus back to an era when all beings live forever. We'll usher in a new future that will be entirely different from the flame chase journey.
See, that's completely obvious that this is a fabrication. Ridding the world of death. Yeah, that's this just did not happen.
He's one of the 7 sages.
The members of the Council of Elders are discussing fervently.
Your proposal is much too idealistic. As long as the Black Tide still exists, how can we go back to the old days?
Remember what I previously said? Kefali's core flame is guarded by the secret power of the Council of Elders. Plus, Fagusa's water curtain will be able to block out any external perceptions.
That seems like a reach for Anaxa to say. That seems like a real reach. Especially since we know so little about Fagusa. But even so, what we've seen of the Black Tide, I don't think that would be something Anaxa would say.
Tell me, dear citizens, have any of you ever seen even a glimpse of the threat that this person is talking about anywhere within the walls of this majestic holy city?
Okay, so he is going with the manipulation here. Isn't this just survivorship bias?
If we eliminate death, then there's no need for us to fear that Flame Reaver, right?
Okay.
Citizens, let's loudly sing the blessed hymn. Oh, beautiful old world, where are you now? Oh, legendary Erechrysia, return to the mortal realm.
This is... Ugh.
After the destruction of the 3 Titans of Calamity, the Flame Chase journey will have to end.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
This is bad. The masses are now totally riled up.
I mean, Anaxa is totally manipulating everyone here. It's pretty amazing. But, I mean, I guess all of the so-called thought leaders are, of course, swayed by the thought leader.
Anaxa, pray tell. Everything that you've mentioned hinges on the premise that we can find Thanatos' existence, right?
Thank you, Lady Aglaya, for still caring about this city. However, dear citizens, we are truly fortunate and blessed. For Castorice, Idonia's goddess of death, will surely find Thanatos under my guidance.
What?
With that, I solemnly promise that the core flame Lady Castorice brings back will be personally managed by the Council of Elders. Thereafter, if we are able to garner the support of all of you at the Citizens' Assembly, we shall spare no effort in ensuring that the Erechrysia will return to our world once again.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
With the balance shattered, the result is clear. By Kefali and Talentin above, as the Theoros I have observed. Akama has chosen her destiny. The issue up for discussion at this Citizens' Assembly shall be modified to the suspension of the Flame Chase journey. This resolution shall be put up on the Wall of Heroes, such that all citizens are aware of the city's way forward.
The members of the Council of Elders are cheering in excitement.
Aglaya, dear Aglaya, what has caused your heart to soften? You also don't seem to be as quick-witted as before.
Wag your tongue as much as you like. Since the Flame Chase journey has been preordained by the prophecy, our failure has never been on the cards.
Well then, I guess we'll find out if that's true at the Citizens' Assembly.
Lygus announces the conclusion of the debate and the attendees part ways. So now we're going to find out what's going on with Castorice. Is there no one else to see? Okay, I just noticed something over here, so I want to see if I can see it. Okay, so that the Kefali core flame, that's where it is then. We passed by it, so that must be what it is. And now that I'm looking at the logo of it, is that what the logo is in his eyes? I thought it was a sunburst, but could it be? Oh, that we can't see it there, but now we can. Could it actually be that? Like the wheel? Can't do a close up here, so no, can't really do that, but now I wonder.
Well, it seems that when I sent you to look for Anaxa, I unintentionally facilitated your partnership with him instead.
My apologies, everyone. I know that you have many questions to ask me. I will answer them to the best of my knowledge.
In that case, please tell us as much as you can.
What happened when you went to look for Anaxa?
In actuality, he showed me a past that was both long and heavy.
The reason I say this is as I've mentioned earlier. The answer was hidden in my journey unto death.
Anaxa, you were in the Netherrealm?
Yes, I am but a living dead man now. But that's not important. What truly matters is, I overheard a conversation between heroes.
Interesting. Okay, so this is where we left off in the flashback before I cut over to Aglaya and find out in the Trailblazer. Oh, now we're in Castorice, okay.
Have you heard of this tale before? A tale about the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. It was a seaside town which enjoyed the ocean breeze and glorious, peaceful times, thanks to the wisdom of its ruling queen. Until one day, an evil dragon descended upon the town. Its wings were large enough to blot out the sun, while its claws were sharp enough to rip the waves apart. It barged into the tall tower and devoured the queen's beloved daughter. It even settled itself in her bedroom, like a tyrant king. The queen assembled 300 warriors who managed to subdue the evil dragon by chaining it up. However, when the queen slit open the dragon's belly, she realized that the princess had long since been digested, and all that was left of her was a pile of bones. Devastated, the queen wept for several days. It was then that a devious, smooth-talking scholar arrived at the palace and suggested that the princess could be revived through the use of dragon bone and dragon blood. That liar called this process the secret art of alchemy. The princess was reborn! The queen was overjoyed, blissfully unaware that the evil dragon's soul still lurked within the princess's body. As revenge, the evil dragon swallowed the poor queen, the glib liar, the courageous warriors, and all of the town's innocent civilians in a single difficult. Worse still, the souls of the deceased refused entry to the Netherrealm because they were filled with regret. Forced to roam the mortal realm, these resentful souls ultimately converged into a river of souls that would not retreat for a long time. The terrifying death had consumed all. Thereafter, our hometown fell into ruin as well. Until...
Until?
Actually, I don't know what happened next either.
Oh my... It seems that you still like to whet people's appetites even after all this time, Pelixia.
She's in a wheelchair.
So, according to your story, this is how I used to look? It's practically a mirror image. And yet, what exactly is this?
A miracle that I created with alchemy. As for what it is and how I was able to accomplish it, I'll keep the answers to myself for now.
Oh, my goodness. Is this cliffhanger really necessary?
Quiet, Titan. Continue to enjoy this splendid play, and the truth will naturally reveal itself.
Dragon, huh? I've heard this legend before.
In that case, what do you think of it?
I think that this so-called alchemy was a tenuous analogy added to the story by future generations. After all, you've never heard of a tradition of alchemy in your hometown before, have you?
Indeed. Before I left home to pursue my education, I never even knew that anybody was looking into this area of study.
Oh, she's got her eye covered.
Therefore, we can just treat this tale as a fable told to young children.
And a lot of bandages.
A fable, you say? If so, what moral is it trying to impart to the kids?
I guess it might be the concept of equivalent exchange?
Oh? I thought the moral might be closer to something like honor the dead.
Huh.
What? At a loss for words?
No, I merely realized that we're both thinking of the same principle. If life is priceless, then there is hardly anything else in this world that is of equal weight to it, right?
Indeed. As expected of the wisest scholar in the land.
You flatter me. Why don't I ask you a question as well, as a form of equivalent exchange?
Something she's also said earlier in this episode, talking to Anaxa.
Of course. What is your question?
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
What? What kind of strange question is this? I got it. You're just trying to get me to tell you whether I like anyone, right?
Let's just leave it at that. That was rude of me.
Yes, I would.
Oh?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I'm certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good.
Oh, I'm just seems to be hinting that perhaps Castorice was someone who died and she exchanged her life for Pelixia exchanged her life for Castorice, maybe.
If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. After all, you, me, and the rest will all have to face that fateful moment eventually. My time is finally here. However, perhaps because of my firm belief in the immeasurable value of life, I am unable to complete the trial.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. It is a pity that fate is such a cruel mistress.
Is there no other way of interpreting those words?
I'm afraid that the meaning is clear. Between my sister and me, one must pay the price. Our trial can only be completed when the one chosen sacrifices her life. I'm afraid that the prophecy might even have selected a pair of twins for this exact purpose.
Fortune makes fools of us all.
Oh, so the Titan one must be, or the Death one is the third one from the left then. Interesting. Okay.
My sister is prepared to sacrifice herself. And yet, I can't do the same. How absurd. My time is almost up, but I'm still afraid to welcome death. What should we do? If I'm ultimately not able to make up my mind...
Since Chaos is willing to guide all of us and leave this trial to the end, there is still plenty of time for you to ponder.
That's right. Don't allow the fog of an uncertain future to cloud your mind.
Trial, prophecy, the topics that they're discussing seem familiar. But these three people must not have left their names in the epics. Otherwise, I would have some recollection of this.
Amphoreus' history before the Titans were born was complete chaos. Is that not strange by itself? I have long held three hypotheses about this. However, let's continue watching for now.
I've already said it's cyclical. That's how we got it. And that there were Titans and they've taken over for the Titans. It seems that I don't know how their Titans were doing at this point, but whether they had gone mad or willingly gave up their core flames to the next in the trial or not, but that seems to be what they're hinting at here.
Calypso, Polixia, and this warrior. I seem to have met him somewhere before.
Regarding this matter, Nias, are you confident that you'll complete your trial?
Of course. Though, I am worried about what will happen once I've emerged victorious.
Looks like you have made up your mind.
Yes, this is the safest course of action.
Completely separating courage, honor, tenacity, sacrifice, and reason. You really know how to make things difficult.
And this again goes back to the flashback that we had when we were getting ready, when we were trying to figure out how to beat Nikador and meeting Nias. This is why we're kind of getting an explanation why he split himself up.
Please, young lady, witness my fall and demise. Lady Calypso, you shall host the soul-rending ceremony.
I do not understand. Why would you dare to sacrifice yourself for a future that you won't get to witness?
Because this is our destiny. The power that resides within me is so intense that I will one day be engulfed by it. Furthermore, a valorous death before glorious return has always been the path I chose to walk. A journey I began long ago, If your sister or Kaos were in my position, I believe they would make the same choice as well.
I'm not that brave. I don't know how I'm supposed to face such a serious affair.
Despite being Death's chosen one, it seems you still don't know how to face it. Let's chat, young lady. Perhaps I shouldn't end my journey so hastily. Since there's still time, I'm not worried about letting fate wait a little longer.
Of course. This warrior is Lord Anaxa. As the embodiment of Nikador's divinity, he entrusted his life to us and allowed humankind to end his madness. That means that what I'm currently seeing before my eyes is, in fact...
Looks like one hypothesis of mine has already been proven true. These heroes are the true forms of the Titans, before they attained their divinity. If so, the chosen one of death that he speaks of is actually...
Polixia? Is the previous form of Thanatos? But her appearance...
If this is true, as long as we can find out where she went, we'll naturally be able to figure out the location of the Death Titan.
I am now actually wondering whether we never needed to look for the Death Titan because Castorice is actually already holding on to that power because Polixia was not able to go through the trial and instead sacrificed her life in the end through alchemy as opposed to through the trial. Or Castorice had to sacrifice herself for the trial, and then Polixia was so distraught by that she used alchemy to switch places and die instead and brought Castorice back.
But before that, we first need to witness what ultimately happened to Lord Anaxa.
Which would actually make sense that Castorice is already has, I don't know, maybe not the core flame, but at least the divinity part of it, because with her power of death and not being able to touch anyone too, because she brings death, it's like maybe without the core flame she's not able to control it as much. Maybe it is a way to allow her to live without having to fear going or giving up her humanity, because her sister gave up her humanity for her and brought her back. Or like how I guess Anaxa was talking about souls and bringing souls back, and that the golden blood is able to purify the souls and bring them and repair them, I guess is what he was saying. So I wonder if this is like the whole secret behind Castorice right now, and that she has at least the divinity part of it, maybe not the core flame itself, or maybe it never gets, I don't know, there seems to be something there between Castorice, and so introducing her twin sister and the fact that Anaxa has been experimenting with souls, and Calypso is mentioned offering to teach her alchemy, and Polixia then being like, yeah, I would definitely use it without hesitation. And it all has to be connected to what we're seeing here, and so I'm trying to put together the pieces and that seems to be what my conclusion is so far.
Honor, courage, tenacity, sacrifice.
And finally, the only thing that remains is reason.
Cheer up, young lady. There is no need to shed tears over a glorious death.
All farewells in this world are sorrowful, Lord Nias.
No, young lady. As a warrior, I have witnessed too many bitter deaths. But now, all I feel is peace. I did not know until this moment that mortals could live their lives in such a way.
The clarity of death.
Although only a sliver of your soul remains, you remain so optimistic. Or maybe the truth is that you aren't able to feel sorrow anymore.
To be honest, I don't know either. But I am certain of one thing. This is not an acceptance of death nor apathy toward it. It's not even a feeling of despair. I am just enjoying what remains of my life to the fullest.
Enjoying?
Indeed. Along this journey that we've taken together, not only have I changed the world, I myself have also changed in the process. And now I have reached the journey's end. When I look back and see the grand epic that I've personally written, how could I not revel in that fact?
But when you depart the mortal realm, won't all of your accomplishments be reduced to nothing? Separation and death are two sides of the same coin. Reconciling this doesn't come easily for a mortal.
Finally, let me recount to you a story of mine, young lady. The first time I returned from the battlefield, I felt extremely hollow. The calamity had devoured everybody on the battlefield but me. When I returned to the city alone, the citizens held a banquet for me that was far from pleasant. I felt as though I was still on the battlefield, and the person who had returned was nothing but an empty shell. It was late into the night by the time the banquet ended. My head still reeling, I returned alone to the barracks. On the way back, I encountered someone. It was a crazed scholar looking at the night sky and muttering to himself by the side of the road. Although I tripped over him and fell, I wasn't angry in the slightest. And maybe because I saw myself in him, I inexplicably asked him a question. Do you think that it'd be better if we just died on the roadside like a couple of stray dogs? To my surprise, he shrugged his shoulders and sighed.
How does someone who is currently experiencing death, dying and living, afford the same amount of bliss? Now please go away and don't block my starlight.
What a philosopher.
Are you trying to say that there is no difference between living and dying? For they are both journeys that lead toward death?
That's exactly what life is, and death is, but a scale to measure how valuable the journey was. Journeys and epics are only glorious and magnificent because all things eventually fade to dust. Therefore, young lady, don't detest your fate. Instead, willingly and respectfully embrace it.
The embodiment of strife telling me about the majesty of the world.
Indeed. I believe that when the fated moment eventually arrives, you will be able to understand my words. It is time for me to knock on death's door. I will set up a long table at the end of the road and humbly await your arrival. When that moment finally comes, let us drink and be merry then.
I knew this day would eventually come.
Are the both of you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Polixia,
There she is. Castorice.
I'm here. What? This...
She doesn't remember, like I said, because of the divinity she already has.
This is quite interesting indeed.
Or because of the resurrection, maybe, that you might go through?
Is this... Polixia's sister? Is it... me? Now, it's time for us to fulfill our promises. Are you afraid? What are you afraid of?
That I won't be able to do it.
You shall wither, and through that, the dead will sprout again from the remains, and be reborn with the dead flame. As foretold in the prophecy, and according to our vows, once it all ends, we must face our fated moment head-on.
Even if it was prophesied, do we have no say in the matter? It's so unfair. Why are we the only ones who are forced into mutual destruction? Let me do it, sister. Let me be death's sacrifice. I was never long for this world anyway. But you're different. I was the one who wasted your life after all.
You're wrong, Polixia. I don't think that my life was wasted. Just the opposite. When I finally arrived at this destination and looked back at the journey I took, I discovered that flowers had long since bloomed along the path I walked. It was you who sowed the seeds for this sea of flowers. One that is more beautiful than the promised land at the end of the world. Besides, I have lived a fulfilling life. Even though I was fated for sacrifice, none of the things that I've experienced will dissipate. Instead, they'll forever live on as memories inside your head. Will they not?
How could my memories of you ever compare to the actual you?
Well then, tell me, what exactly are we?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But regardless of what the answer is, regardless of how we're shaped by others, or even by this world, ever since we were born, the fact that we existed was predestined, and nothing could erase it. This is why I will always, always be by your side. We're twins, after all. All right, my dear Polixia. It's time to extract my heart and light the flame of death. After that, use it to plant the first bud in the prophesied new world.
That's kind of gruesome.
If I imparted my knowledge of the art of alchemy to you, would you use it to resurrect someone you loved?
Death is inevitable. In the days to come, I am certain that someone whom I cherish deeply will leave me for good. If such a mighty power really existed, I think I would use it without hesitation. Even now, my answer remains the same. This is why, sister, I promise you, in the prophesized new world, I shall plant the first bud on your behalf. Go now. Return to the ocean god's treasured pearl, our hometown. I shall open wide the entrance to the Netherrealm and grant you a second life. The living beings on this earth shall respond to my call and lead you to the sacred daylight.
Wait. This is this hinting at the fact that what she does is what causes Fugosa to be so angry that is sending all of the waves all to attack this town basically, and they have to build the dam in order to protect themselves.
Remember, do not look back on the land of the dead, and do not stop moving. In the new world promised by the prophecy, march toward your new life. As for the price of our equivalent exchange, let me be the one to pay it.
Everybody, we've come to the end. Unfortunately, I am not compatible with the Supreme Being, so I was unable to completely fuse their soul into my own body. However, being able to glean all this from them is exciting enough. I'm certain of this now. Before the Titans that we are well acquainted with were born, a group of heroes roamed the land. These heroes followed a prophecy and took possession of divine authorities one by one, until they eventually became the pantheon of the new world. Just like the flame chase journey of today, Amphoreus' history is cyclical in nature.
So you came to the same conclusion I did. And it makes sense too, considering what we know of Amphoreus in terms of the universe and that it hasn't been detectable. And I'm guessing that is because however the eons that created this and their fixing or whatever, however it came about, that Amphoreus has been locked in a cycle kind of outside of everything, outside of like normal space-time, and because they are locked in this cycle, in order to break out of it and get back into the quote-unquote normal universe, they have to break this cycle. And so that seems to be what this story is about, breaking the cycle of what's going on. I guess the cycle of fate, maybe, kind of thing. But in order to kind of save themselves from what's been going on. But yes, the cyclical nature is because it has to keep going over the same kind of thing until the people are able to find it in themselves to break out. And in this case it's going to be a outside influence that has managed to get in and turn things enough for this to happen.
Huh. What a startling revelation. This means that the demigods, who bear the core flames, will also become the new Titans at the world's end, thereby shaping a new world?
I believe that this is the truth behind the Era Nova, as mentioned in the prophecy.
This is utterly unbelievable. Besides, those twins in the past, even if they really are Thanatos, Their whereabouts are still unknown, even today.
Are their whereabouts truly unknown? Didn't Polixia mention that seaside town? The birthplace of alchemy and the tale of the dragon. In our world, there exists a city which perfectly matches that description. Styxia.
But the people there worship Vagusa and bear no relation to Thanatos. I have also never been to that place, as in the time of Idonia, it had long turned into underwater ruins.
Take this.
This is...
The Nusporist masterpiece, the Philosopher's Stone. It was made by transmuting all of the sages' wisdom into a single entity, with their flesh and blood as its foundation. Remember? I've mentioned before that the art of alchemy is all about conversion, tempering, and ascension. This process also applies to the pursuit of truth. Regardless of how unbelievable this sounds, the truths of the world have been refined from the impurities. Think about the story of the dragon. This stone will lead you to your real hometown, allowing you to reform the door to the Nether Realm and discover Thanatos' fate.
You still look as confident in your victory as ever. But what if your conjecture is wrong?
Simple. I shall merely admit to the entire world that my experiment was a failure. However, my line of thinking will not fail because I have already planted the seeds of doubt into the hearts of the masses. Actions speak louder than words, Castorice. With the assembly about to begin, don't forget the promise you've made.
I've already searched for so long. I'm willing to try one more time. While we converse, her life is also slowly slipping away.
And also, if this fails, his life is conveniently going to be gone around the time that it fails, so he might not even have to admit that he was wrong.
But before I leave, I have another question. What exactly did we witness just now?
That was the world imprinted in Kefali's soul.
That was the memory printed.
If we are to prove its existence, you must take the final step. Go. Do not disappoint me.
I understand.
Hey, child of humanity.
Don't get antsy. I still remember the question you posed to me. As a scholar, I do not wish to offer up ambiguous conclusions. Let's discuss this topic again when she manages to find the evidence.
I merely wanted to ask, was that stone transmuted from your heart? If so, rebirth is no longer an option for you.
Why not? When I was a child, I lost someone dear to me. When I was a teenager, I lost my faith. A while back, although you saved my life, I also lost my soul in the process. Now I'm merely forsaking my body. What's the big deal?
Why are you always finding ways to die? Isn't it good to be alive?
This is but a necessary sacrifice on my path to transform into the purest of them all.
Can someone who's dead even claim to be the purest of them all? Furthermore, if your hypothesis is proven correct, does it not just confirm that the myths are true, and thereby invalidate all your theories?
No, it's just the opposite. If my hypothesis is correct, it means that I can actually ascend to godhood and reshape this absurd world that you all have created.
But currently,
That's A lot to take in at once.
Lady Aglaia, please, let me explain.
Go on.
You know that the core flame of death has always been the greatest unknown regarding the Era Nova, which is why both you and Kindness desire to gain the power to control that core flame in the approaching Citizens' Assembly. Professor Anaxa has come to a consensus with Kindness. They want to suspend the trial once Thanatos' core flame is reclaimed, hoping thus to eradicate death from this world. If they're successful, then the flame chase journey will cease, and Akama can enjoy everlasting peace. But I know this runs counter to your wishes. So long as we do not usher in Era Nova, the Black Tide will never be eradicated. Even with Lord Mighty on the front line, and the Black Tide not posing an immediate risk, the danger nevertheless remains. Honestly, it's difficult for me to assess the pros and cons in this decision. But someone must bring the core flame before we can begin negotiations over it. The Titan could be very near. I cannot let this chance slip by. Besides, someone has to make this trip to bring back Mrs. Soul.
Well said. You already had every reason to seek an audience with Thanatos. It's that great performer who has weaponized your wishes and placed us in this difficult situation. A world without death. Do you desire that too?
If fate dictates that my path must oppose yours, I will do all I can to resist it and protect what I aspire to achieve. Lord Mighty showed me that without taking the first step, all talk of what follows is moot.
Unsure what to say, but offer a smile. Oh, I like this one. Have mercy, Aglaia. Stay your threats.
I am not going to punish her for that. I have always hoped to hear you speak your mind, Cass. And I am glad to have heard your true thoughts. Styxia. I visited that place in the past. Though it is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, it's not hard to see its former splendor. Go. I will not stand in your way. As for you, you are someone who has cheated death. I believe you have more than enough reason to make the trip with Castorice and meet the god of death himself. Castorice, I too look forward to your journey. I wonder what kinds of new interpretations your completed story will bring to the Flame Chase journey.
Thank you, Lady Aglaia.
I hate to put a damper on this heartwarming moment, but if Styxia is now an island surrounded by the river of Soul's torrents, then how do we find a way in? Lady Trebe is probably...
The answer is quite simple. In the Mids, Zagreus once made the domain of the dead their treasure vault. That is to say, they could enter and leave the Nether Realm as they pleased. And if they could do that, then it follows that the demigod who inherited their divinity must be capable of the same. I'll see you at Memorial Palace at Action Hour tomorrow. Cypher shall be your guide to finding that ancient city.
Interesting. The tumultuous day finally comes to an end. Everyone disperses, each lost in their own thoughts. Nameless recollection. Servant tells of the mystery within the myths and the scholar. Yeah. We got more to put in there. But I have a question actually. I want to see something because now.
Is that a stain?
Now I'm unsure here. Alright. So they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We know of what? Finan, Agalaya, Treeby, Whitey. Those are the 4 we know of, right? Is there any other that we know of that has any? So 1, 2, 3. So there are others out there that we don't know about. Okay. So yeah, in the middle there next to the I one, that must be Kefli. That pattern does look like the pattern that might be in Finance Eye, actually. That leaves, because that's Death, and that's Kefli. That leaves these 2. Did they get more? Because that doesn't seem right. That seems like we are... Because one of these is Cersei's, then probably the I one. And then that leaves... Oh wait, we have one, that's right. So we have the time one. So that's, we actually are 5, so there's 3. And then we're gonna meet Cypher, meaning there's 2 that we don't know then? Is Finon gonna take that, or does that, or did I count that wrong actually? Because Finon is not one, so Akalaya, Treeby, Mighty. And what we know of is like Anaxa for Cersei's. It must be Finon for Kefali, Cass for Thanatos, and then the final one is... Which one is that one then? So do they have Fagosa then? Zagreus, they just said is Cypher. I feel like I'm missing something. Okay, well, okay, we get it back. Okay, but that's what I wanted to see. I wanted to see...
Oh, is that a stain? I like this coat.
The Zodiac, for lack of a better term. Danang isn't back yet, huh? I'm not going any further right now, so. Alright, awesome. So that was good. That was a lot. But we do have some interesting answers here that we're going to be dealing with. I guess the other one's going to be for Hyacine, isn't it? Whatever one that one's going to be, the one that's left. It's the only thing that makes sense, and she doesn't have one. Okay, but but yeah, that we're getting a lot here, a lot of lore, a lot of stuff, and so now we can start making conjectures, like I've been doing throughout it, to kind of see how things are going. But yeah, that's kind of the fun part of this. This one has been very good for this. They've given us a bunch of lore, and they've given us some good foundations on which to kind of understand how things work with the Flame Chase journey and how that works. And now with all of the information we got here, where we've discovered that it is cyclical and that humans do turn into the Titans. This is something that is, of course, completely new. This is something that kind of has been hinted a little bit here and there, but now has been confirmed. So they've done a very good job in this story so far of building on things. And the only thing I've really seen that's been a problem is the whole Anaxa lab thing, where we already went through that and it wasn't actually his lab because there was someone in there that probably shouldn't have been in there. So kind of a little retcon there, but a lot of the lore bits we've been building on, and obviously the whole patch's story has, or not patches, the whole version story here on Amphoreus has been meticulously written out and everything already, so they were able to build on this and make sure they're not doing things incorrectly here, which is very important. But this one is definitely doing a good job of doing layers, where we get something, and we get hints at stuff, and then they build on top of it and build on top of it, and they're kind of building the story for us, like all of the bits here, so that we get revelations that make sense most of all, but are also still twists, because we never know. We can make conjectures and be like, okay, make guesses here, and even still, it's still up in the air a bit until it's confirmed that, hey, this is what happened. Then we can use that to go further. And it's, like I said, this is good storytelling. Like a good world building, lore building, story building story here. Like, you may not like the story itself, and you may think that some of the what's around it may be a bit, you know, not to your liking, may not be up to standards here, but the way they built the story and how they have layered it and everything has been very good. And I think this is definitely what I'm enjoying, and the characters have been good. And seeing that we have another character here in Anaxa who is playable, but I wouldn't say isn't villain, is one of the antagonists of this, but not, you know, just kind of more gray in this sort of sense. Although in the end, like I said, I think this is a case of where Anaxa is the fulcrum in which they are able to finally break out of this cycle and return to the universe at large. So, and that's not something I mean, we knew that there had to be something going on in order for them to return to the universe, because that's the only way we're going to be able to get the main characters back. But we didn't know what it was. At first, they kind of hinted that maybe going through the Flame Chase journey and into the Era Nova might be that bit to break things and thus return. But it seems that instead of doing that, the Era Nova will actually not do that. It would just cycle over again, and which is not what we want. And so, and like I said, this is where the story building has been good, because it kind of hints at something, and it turns out that the hints are not quite correct, even though like what's happening is true. Like you know, it's the characters are unreliable narrators. They know what they know, and they're doing what they think is best, even if they don't have the full picture, because it's impossible to have a full picture sometimes. So yeah, it's very believable, and in terms of like story and how things are done. So yeah, storytelling here has been very good. That's what I got to say about this. But that's gonna be it for tonight. We did a lot. We got a lot done, and yeah, I'm very happy about it. I'm very glad to be doing this. So we're still got, I'm guessing we got at least a bunch more to go, because of we still got a whole Castorice side of this, and that's like the main part of this. So I'm sure that's what we're gonna get next, and that's gonna be the last half. So I guess we're gonna see what we can get into next week, see if we can find some time to maybe do 2 streams or something in order to continue pushing this forward, because this has been good, and I want to get through it. I do want to get through it at some point in order to get into the event, even though I could jump ahead and kind of start doing that event, which is what I might do. But yeah, a lot of good stuff here though. So yeah, so let's see, schedule, let's see, what is today? Today's Friday. Tomorrow night should be on the other channel on Twitch, and we'll play. I'm not sure what we'll do, but that's the schedule right now, is that if things happen to fall through for some reason, which sometimes they do, even at the last minute, then we'll be back here. But I'm planning to be in the other channel next week, or on tomorrow, and then next week we'll see if we can find an extra day to do a stream. Maybe we can do 2 streams, but then we'll hopefully hit the scheduled Friday. It's like the normal day now for us, and we'll see how things go. Yeah, that's gonna do it here. Thank you all for hanging out, watching. Hopefully you're enjoying it. I would love to hear some of your conjectures and stuff if you are catching this. Of course, a lot of people have probably finished this by now, so they probably could spoil things. So please don't spoil things. But if you remember what you were thinking at this point, put that in so we can kind of compare notes and then continuously go on further. But yeah, thanks for hanging out, watching. If you're enjoying yourself here on Twitch, hit that follow button and notification button. Come hang out some more. On YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, whether on stream or any of the videos you haven't watched. We gotta put more videos up. I've been so immersed in putting together resumes and cover letters that I haven't had time to really work on things like I want to. But I mean, job hunting is basically another full-time job, and I already have two, one being my actual job and one being the other one being a parent. So having a third on top of that and then trying to stream, it's just crazy. But I'm gonna try to get more videos up at some point. I just got to put the rest of the Unicorn Overload one up. So I got a lot of work to do there. But anyway, all the support, any kind of support here makes it a little bit more motivating for me to do. So definitely check that out. Do appreciate it that people comment and everything and subscribe there. But there are links in the description of the videos in the stream to Twitch and social media, so you can check that stuff out. On the Twitch side, there's links to YouTube and social media in the profile, in the panels, and also in chat. You can hit !YouTube and !socials. So that's gonna do it here. Thank you all once again. I'm enjoying it. Hopefully you're enjoying it too. Even if you haven't played the game, if you can come and catch it from the beginning. I should have all of them actually. It's probably not organized very well, but all in the Star Rail streams should be at least labeled. I have to go back and see if I labeled them correctly, but you can kind of follow along there and see, and then of course skip around if you just want to catch a story. I think that's the way to do it. But yeah, check that out if you like. Do appreciate it. Thanks for hanging out and everything. Hopefully all are doing well out there. Stay well, stay safe, stay good, stay healthy, stay fresh. Weather is good here right now, but I know weather in other places is not. And of course, with springtime and summertime coming, that means crazy weather could be out there. So stay safe, everyone. And yeah.